This simple script right here, I'm about to break it down for you guys. This very script has made my agency over $100,000 just last month. So with all the agents on our team using the script, they sold over $100,000 in premium. And I'm gonna show you guys what the script is, how it works. I'm gonna break it all down for you guys so that you can literally just steal it. If you guys stay to the end of the video, I'll give you the script in a PDF version. How the whole thing works, how you can use this to just absolutely crush it on the phones and make a ton more money selling final expense. So let's jump into my laptop. All right, guys, so this is the script. It's about 11 pages long, and I'm gonna break this whole thing down for you guys. It's sectioned into 9 different steps, right? The intro, discovery, so on and so forth. We'll go through all of that in just a second. But real quick, before I dive into the script, let me tell you why the hell am I making this video? Who am I if you've never seen me before? So you guys have a little bit of context. So my name's Tim. I own a life insurance agency, as you guys saw in the intro. And basically, we're on a mission to grow a life insurance agency to $100 million. That's our ultimate goal. That's basically what I do for work, right? And then in my free time, I like to make videos like this to help agents like yourself make 6 figures over the phone, right? And so this is in large part the script that our agents use. We started our agency in January. We hired our first agent. It's now May, and we just had our first 100K month as a team. So pretty cool, fast growth for us. And ultimately, I think that this script has been a large piece of what's allowed us to do that. Giving the script to agents, them learning the script and being able to replicate a process that works is what has allowed us to train a bunch of agents to, become 10K a week producers, even starting as brand new agents. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and dive right into it. So basically, what I'm going to do, this is going to be a bit of a longer video, kind of like just presentation style, teaching you guys how to use the script and everything. I'm going to go through each of the different parts of the script, right? And then I'm going to explain why you're saying what you're saying so that you're not just saying it, you know why you're saying it. And then I'm going to kind of role play through how I would say it as an agent on the phone, right? So quick housekeeping, this part up here that says legend, anything that's just in normal black text, this is just what you say. An action is going to be in this royal blue, meaning wait for their reply or whatever. Fill in the blank is going to be in red, so obviously you have to use your thinking cap here and just fill in the blank. And then we've outlined the script with key points or steps, which are going to be in the bold black. So this is not part of the script. This is the legend, so you know how to read it. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Let me show you guys this script without any further ado. So starting with step number 1, we have the introduction. So the call intro is realistically one of the most important pieces of your script. Now here's why. Think about a television show that you maybe have watched, right? Like Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones or whatever show you guys watch. I don't know what you guys do in your free time. Let me know in the comments down below, or don't. They all have a pilot episode that hooks you in, right? Otherwise you wouldn't watch the rest of the show. And if you'll notice, each episode, they always have a hook at the beginning of it. And then they have their little intro, with the Breaking Bad, it's the chemistry table and the, meth smoke or whatever. Please don't demonetize me, YouTube. And then they go into the rest of it, right? But they always have a hook to catch your attention. And so if you don't have a good hook or a good intro to buy the person's attention, they're not going to stay on the phone. So what we're doing here with the intro is we're basically buying attention, right? And so a lot of that is with the tonality in our voice of what we say here. So you guys could read this and you could just be like, hey, is Jim there? Right? Jim, it's just Tim. I have a request you sent us about life insurance. How's it going? That would be the complete wrong way to approach this. When you're going through this intro of the script, you need to sound excited. You need to have basically an excited whisper where you're not over the top, but you sound like you're somebody worth talking to. And I'll show you guys how to do that in just a second. The other key point here too is we just say our first name because we want to basically sound like a friend from high school that's just giving them a call, right? We want to, in the first few seconds, they're like, do I know this guy? Who is this? And we just sound so friendly that they're just going to want to stay and talk to us, right? And then we're going to dive into it and then we'll go to step 2. But first, let me show you guys how step 1 works. So I'm the agent calling him up, ring, ring, ring. Hey, is Jim there? Right? Hey, Jim, right? We can basically use, there's a couple of variations that we can use here. Some people feel more natural saying this. Other people, it's literally just, hey, first name, right? So, hey, Diane, right? I'm having like almost like curious tone, but I'm very upbeat. Hey, Diane. Hey, Diane, right? And when you guys are learning the script, this is like one of the most important lines. So just repeat this over and over and over and over and over, because the first impression that somebody is getting of you is this line right here. Hey, is Diane there? Hey, Diane, right? Very, very important to have this down. Then they reply, hey, Diane, it's just Tim. I have a request that you sent us here about life insurance. How's it going, right? Notice how I sound happy, I sound positive, I'm smiling a little bit. You guys can see my face. The client wouldn't be able to see my face, but I'm smiling. Hey, Diane, it's just Tim. I have a request that you sent us here about the life insurance. How's it going, right? Upbeat tonality, it's not boring, it's not dull. Next, wait for her reply. Awesome, well, I'm just calling to see if we could even help. Was this your first time looking into life insurance? Right? Again, upbeat, positive, engaging tone. Now, you guys will often get some objections here, right? This is like a big sticking point in the call. In our internal script, I've had to like strip this one down a little bit because, you know, we do have to keep some stuff internal for our agency. That's what allows us to, you know, smoke the competition. We have objection overcomes linked throughout the script. So like, you know, if they say not interested, you have like the objection linked right there so you can go and answer it. So if you guys want access to that script, you're going to have to apply to join our agency. But I won't really talk a ton about that. I just wanted to let you guys know, like, there is a way that you can optimize this more, and it's having the objections linked for you in the script so that you can basically go through. But this is going to be a big sticking point for objections, right? Awesome. Well, I'm just calling to see if we could even help. Was this your first time looking into life insurance, right? I have to end every single statement with a question to maintain control of the conversation. Now we're going to go into discovery. So the goal here is basically to figure out what is the client's why. What is their reason for buying insurance? Why did they fill this form out? Why are they concerned? Because if we don't know their why, we have absolutely a snowball chance in hell of selling this person, meaning we have no chance. We have to understand what is the reason they're looking into life insurance. We have to know that. And that's what step 2 allows us to do. So we're going to ask these questions, right? Okay, and what were you concerned about? You know, leaving money behind for family, or more so just covering funeral expenses, right? Based off of what they say, we're going to dig deeper. So we're not just going to leave it at this question and then just jump to the next one. When they give you a response, you need to hear the response, actively listen, and then basically just kind of like repeat it back to them and make them feel like you're listening, right? Okay, what were you concerned about? Was it just, you know, leaving money behind for family, or more so covering funeral expenses? Well, you know, I was looking for, you know, covering funeral expenses and then maybe leaving a little bit extra money behind for your family. So I'm going to pause. Okay, got it. That makes sense. So, you know, basically just leaving money behind for or covering funeral expenses, and any leftover money, maybe leaving that behind for family if you know, you can afford it. Yes, exactly. Okay, perfect. And, you know, do you have any life insurance in place currently in the event that something were to happen to you? So I'm gathering information. I need to know this, right? They say yes or no. Obviously, I'm going to, you know, pause, acknowledge what they say, mirror it back to them to make sure that I understand them, and then wait for reply. Okay, and, you know, Jim, just so we know how much insurance to look at, did you want to do more of like a traditional burial or a cremation, right? Sometimes they'll have no idea what they want to do. Sometimes they say burial, sometimes they say cremation. You just, you know, same deal, mirror them. Got it. Okay, and it looks like you listed, let's see, Sarah as your beneficiary. Is that right? Right. So I'm gonna, you know, kind of pause, like check the card. Okay, it looks like you listed Sarah as your beneficiary. Is that right? And when you say the name of their beneficiary, they're gonna kind of like light up a little bit because it's familiar, right? You know, somebody said my girlfriend's name to me, I'd be like, what? Or if someone says your name to you, you kind of light up. Same thing when you mention the beneficiary name, it's gonna be like a point of familiarity. So you want to kind of pause, and then it looks like you listed Sarah as your beneficiary. Is that right? Wait for a reply. They're going to say yes or no or whatever, and then you know, obviously answer that. That makes sense. So it sounds like, you know, you basically want to make sure that, you know, Sarah doesn't have to worry about paying for a burial, and, you know, in the event that something were to happen to you. And, you know, also kind of like leave some money extra behind to her to just kind of help her out in life. Is that about right? Right? So here you obviously have to fill in the blank. You're just repeating what they told back to you. You're summarizing it to them, which is called mirroring, right? They did like a study where they basically had waiters go out, and in one sample size, the waiters would give the patrons or the restaurant goers positive feedback with their order. So they'd say, yep, that's an excellent choice, fantastic, got it, good, okay, that's positive feedback. The other sample size would just mirror the prospects, so they would literally just repeat their order back to them. And the results were the mirroring sample size got 70% higher tips than the other ones. So literally just by repeating what they said back to you, they got 70% higher tips. So think about how that translates to sales. Imagine 70% more sales. That's insane. So basically, you're just going to mirror it back to them. Okay, so that makes sense. So, to me, it sounds like you want to make sure that Sarah, doesn't have to worry about paying for that burial, and then in the event that something were to happen to you, also leaving some extra money behind to her to make sure that she's set up for life. Is that about right? Right. Wait for a reply. If they correct you, just repeat it back with the corrected statement, and if they acknowledge it, okay, we'll go to the next part, where we set expectations. So we need to set expectations of what we're going to do, and then we deliver on it. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a simple formula for building rapport. You tell somebody you're going to do something, and then you do it. And that's how you build trust. That's how you build rapport. That's how you build credibility. It's literally that simple. So we're going to make them a promise, and then we're going to follow up on that promise. So this is what we're going to do. Okay, and so basically, just to kind of let you know the way that we work, we look at all of the big companies for you, like Mutual of Omaha, Aetna, American General. Basically, we just try to find you the most amount of coverage for the lowest price that you qualify for. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes sense. Perfect. And I'm just going to ask you some basic health questions to see which company is going to make the most sense for you. So let's start with, and then I'm going to run through the health questions. I'm not going to go too in deep into this on this breakdown. If you guys want to see like an underwriting video or something about that, let me know in the comments down below. But basically what we're doing here as we're going through these is we're plugging this into a software called Insurance Toolkits. If you guys don't have this or you aren't using this, this is your wake-up call to get it, because it's going to save you so much time and make you a lot of money. It's basically a aggregator of all of the quotes of top carriers, and it'll tell you what somebody will qualify for and what the price will be. So get Toolkits if you don't have it, but you're just plugging in the answers into Toolkits to see what company comes up. Then we're going to move to quotes, right? Now the key here is we have to tell them that they might qualify. We're never going to tell them, okay, so you qualify for this company, because realistically we don't know. We don't know if they're going to get accepted, so we have to frame it as such. You might qualify for this company, right? Okay, so based on what you're telling me, it seems like you might qualify for one of the programs here in the area. I'm going to get a few quotes pulled up for you real quick. Give me 1 second. Now, are you familiar with the different types of life insurance, like term and whole life? So the reason we're doing this is we're buying ourselves time to explain term versus whole life. So we're, everyone they just want the price. They just want the quote. Just get to the freaking point, right? Give me the quote. And so we have to basically kind of give them an inch so that we can take a mile, right? Because there's certain things we have to tell them before we give them the price, because once we give them the price, we lose all of our leverage. So we're using the price as leverage to get as much information to pre-frame the sale as possible, right? And so basically we're in the act of getting up quotes, but while we're doing that, I just need to explain term and whole life. So it's very casual. Okay, yes, so based on what you're telling me, it seems like you might qualify for one of the programs here in the area. I'm going to get a few quotes pulled up for you real quick. Give me 1 second, right? So I'm saying I'm doing this right now. And then in the meantime, and while I'm doing that, are you familiar with the different types of life insurance, like term and whole life? Usually they don't know, or they say they do, but just explain it again. Just do a quick recap. Okay, yeah, so basically, the simple way that I explain it, and this is how I'll do it on the phone. Term, kind of like milk, eggs, and cheese, right? It's great while it lasts, but it has an expiration date, meaning that once it expires, you have to throw it out, right? It's great for younger people, and it always lasts for a period of time, but it gives you more coverage for a lower price. But the thing is, once that coverage expires, once the term is up, you lose all of your coverage. right? So again, better for younger, healthier people that are like working, trying to replace a big income. Whereas whole life, just like the name says, it lasts for your whole life, right? So this is usually what people in your situation, people in retirement, they'll go with whole life because it's guaranteed to pay out, right? You get less coverage and because you're paying for that guarantee, but again, you're playing with certainty as opposed to chance. Does that make sense, right? That's me explaining it. Does that make sense, right? And then usually I'll also throw in there like, yeah, so based off of that, which one do you think would probably be a better fit for you, term or whole life, right? And they'll pick whole life like 95% of the time. If they say term, just loop back and kind of re-explain it and try to understand where they're coming from. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so the quotes I'm getting pulled up for you here are for a company called Mutual of Omaha. Have you ever heard of them? And just insert whatever carrier name, right? You're going to wait for their reply and then basically give them a brief explanation of the carrier, right? So, Mutual of Omaha, they're one of the biggest life insurance companies in the country. They've been around since like the 1900s. And you've probably seen them on TV. They do that show called Wild Kingdom with Marlon Perkins. You remember that growing up? Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, so that's them. The great thing about Mutual of Omaha is they have really, really great rates. But the only downside is it's a little tough to get approved with them. They're very picky. But if we can get you approved, they're going to offer you the best rates, right? And so the reason that we're picking this company, so that's me explaining it, then I'll go here. So the reason we're picking this company is based on your health conditions with just repeat back whatever main health conditions they said. With you being a smoker and having diabetes, Mutual of Omaha is going to give you the most amount of coverage for the lowest amount each month, and there's no waiting period. Obviously, if there is a waiting period, just don't say that and there's no waiting period, right? But here, I'm putting the emphasis on most amount of coverage for lowest amount each month, right? So make sure you put the emphasis on that because that's what you want them to hear. When you're over the phone, your tonality and your voice is your face, right? Like if I do this, like my voice now becomes my face. You guys can't see what I look like. You see AI version of Tim, but you don't actually see me, right? So I can overemphasize my words and it doesn't really like come across over the top, right? Because my tonality now becomes my face and it becomes my voice, right? And if I do this, now it's completely that way, right? My tonality is all that you guys see, or like that's literally it, right? So I'll add my face back in. There we go. But that was to basically demonstrate the point, right? When it's just the voice, you are imagining what the person looks like based off of it. So you want to overemphasize different things, right? So again, so the reason that we're picking this company is based on your health conditions with, the diabetes, the COPD, or not COPD, Mutual of Omaha doesn't accept that. With the diabetes and you being a smoker, Mutual of Omaha is going to offer you the most amount of coverage for the lowest amount each month, and there's no waiting period. Do you see why we're going with this option, right? Notice what I put emphasis on. If yes, just continue below. If they don't understand, then you're just going to loop back and re-explain. Next, we're going to go to pricing, right? So, okay, so, I've got these quotes ready for you. Do you want to grab a pen and paper for me? Now, we have to get them to grab the pen and paper. Otherwise, you're screwed, right? So I'll give you guys an example. Let's say they don't grab the pen and paper. I'm going to give you guys some options, and I want you guys to remember it without repeating, rewinding the video or anything, right? Okay, Ms. Jones, so $20,000 for $141.93 a month, $15,000 for $112.82 a month, and $15,000 for $15,000 for $57.84 a month. How much was the $15,000? You have no idea, right? Because numbers are really hard to remember. You have to have them write it down because, some of you, our average age of a viewer is between 25 to 34. These people are 60 to 70. So as horrible of a job as you did as remembering that, they're going to do even worse, especially when they get off the phone, right? So we have to have them write it down. So grab that pen and paper for me. Make sure they grab the pen and paper. And then you're going to go to the next spot. Okay, so I wanted to give you a range of options so we could figure out which one makes the most sense for you. Just let me know when you're ready, right? Wait for a reply, just them confirming they're ready. All right, so, and I'm gonna kind of come down to a low whisper so they listen in really intently. So the insurance company, they came back with 3 different offers for you. They came back with $15,000, $12,500, and $10,000. Let me know when you got it all down, right? So we're gonna have them write it all down, just the coverage amounts. Notice I have not given them the price. The reason why is because once I give them the price, I lose all my leverage. So I'm trying to extend my leverage as long as I can, right? So I give them all the quotes or all of the coverage amounts, and then I'm gonna explain this to make sure they understand everything. So basically, the way that this program works is it covers you from day one, meaning if you make your first payment on a Tuesday, and God forbid you pass away on a Wednesday, your family gets the full check. Does that make sense? Right? So what I'm doing here is I'm explaining how the plan works so that they understand. Even though we've just went over term and whole life and all these different things, if they don't understand this, when you give them the prices, they're gonna be like, oh my God, $10,000 for, $57 a month, that's a ripoff. I could get $500,000. I saw that on TV, right? Like that's the reaction that you get if they're not on the same page about what they're getting. So don't give them the price until they know for a fact and you're 100% confident that they understand the plan. Perfect. And it also never expires, and the plan will never reduce or go up at any time. It always stays the same. What questions do you have for me on how this plan works? So I'm not asking, do you have any questions? I'm saying, what questions do you have? Because I want them to start thinking about what questions they have so I can go ahead and knock those objections or questions or obstacles out of the park before I give them the prices and lose all my leverage, right? So you're gonna wait for the reply and clear up any confusion that comes up here, right? Now, all right, so it looks like these prices just came back for us. Now these prices never go up or down, and for as long as you make the small payment, they give your family the big payout, okay? You guys see how much freaking pre-framing I'm doing before I give them the prices? Like I've just gone through and I've said, this company is, amazing. Like you would be lucky to even get accepted at this company. It's really hard to get approved. Mutual of Omaha is like the Cadillac of insurance, blah, 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 blah. This is what the plan does. Write it down. Like I'm getting to a low whisper. Like this is something like really important for you. And then I'm doing all of that before I even give them the price. So it's like, oh my God, what's the price? What's the price? Okay, so it looks like these prices just came back for us here. These prices never go up or down. And as long as you make the small payment, they give your family the big payout, okay? Okay, right, that's what they're gonna say. Now, the $15,000 came back here at only $112.41 a month. The $12,500 came back at only $100.08 per month. And the $10,000 came back here at only $89.17 per month. Let me know when you got it all down, right? Now, this line right here is of critical importance because as soon as you give them the last price, it's objection city, right? After I say, whatever number I said, 89.17, objection is coming. So I have to, on the heel of the last quote, let me know when you got it all down. I'm maintaining control. I cannot give up control in this part of the sale or it all goes to shit, right? So let me know when you got it all down. Okay, I got it all down, but blah, 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 blah. That's what's coming. So you have to be prepared to answer objections. Again, in our internal script, we have the objection overcomes linked right here for our agents, and we have all of the objections scripted out so that they know exactly what to say. You can do this for yourself, or if you want our script, again, agency application link down below. But anyway, yeah, so we're gonna go through. Let me know when you got it all down. So we can always go up or down if we want, but based off of these 3 options we just covered here with you, which one do you think would be the best fit for you and your family? Ladies and gentlemen, this is the close right here. Basically, I'm saying pick one of these 3 options, right? They have to pick one, right? If they want to go up, they can go up. up. If they want to go down, they can go down. But based off of these 3 options we just covered here with you, which one do you think would be the best fit for you and your family? Now, once they pick one of the options, I'll be like, all right, now in the event that you were able to get approved, would you want to go ahead and get this set up for today? So what I'm doing here is I'm going for pay now, issue paid. Like, our agency gets such a higher percentage of business issue paid than other agencies because of this one freaking line right here, because we just ask, literally. Everyone automatically goes and they set it up for the Social Security date. But if they have the money, why would you not get them to pay today? And then the future payments can come out on their Social Security date. But just freaking get them to pay today. Your chargeback rate is going to plummet. You're going to get paid faster. Like, there's no downside to asking this question, but nobody thinks to ask it. So in the event that they can't pay today, yeah, no worries. Most of my clients, they either get paid on the 1st or the 3rd. Which one is it for you? So I'm saying this very casually, like, oh, yeah, I totally get it. That's fine. Yeah, no worries. Well, most of my clients, they either get paid like on the 1st or the 3rd. Which one is it for you? Oh, I get paid on the 3rd. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, what we can do, we can just get it set up for the 3rd if you were able to get approved. Give me one moment while I get logged in here. I'm going to verify some information with you real quick just to make sure this pays out to the right Jones family. And I go straight into the application. That's the close. Literally that assumptive, right? Do you want to get this set up for today? No, I can't get it set up for today. Okay, well, which day do you get paid? Oh, I get paid this day. Oh, no worries. Well, we can just set it up for then. Give me one moment while I get logged in here. They already picked the coverage amount. Unless they give me an objection, I'm going straight into the application. And most of the time, like, it just works because they're down to do it. But if you're uncertain, they're uncertain, right? So we'll start filling out the application. Now, again, if they give you objections, you need to have your objections linked in your script. If you want our script where we have the objections linked, it's only for our internal agents. So link down below and apply. That's the last time I say that, I promise. But yeah, then next thing, we'll go to completing the application, right? So completing the application, just run through, complete the app. Any dead space or silence you want to fill with, conversation. So just narrate what you're doing, right? So the worst thing you can do is get into the middle of the app and just stop talking because they're going to get freaked out. So narrate what you're doing while you're filling out the application. If you're stuck with a loading screen, I'll just be like, yeah, it looks like Mutual of Omaha is getting us, stuck with a little loading screen here while I'm trying to get this sorted out here for you. And then I can ask, now I can start doing the rapport questions, right? Like, you got anything fun planned for the weekend, right? Like questions like that. Or, how long have you been in Texas for? And just kind of fill the conversation with small talk, basically. And then once you get to social and banking, this is how you ask for it. For social, okay, perfect. And just to make sure this pays out to the right Smith family, I need to put down your social as well. What's that social for you? That's it. If they give you social objections, have your social objections linked in the script. We have those for our agents. Asking for banking. Now, we do need to put valid payment information on file here for you. What is the name of the bank or financial institution that you do business with? So they'll say whatever bank they do. Oh, let's say it's Bank of America. Gotcha. And did you register with them here in the state of Texas? Right? Yes, I did. Right? And then here's what I'm going to do. I'll go boom, boom, boom. Bank of America, routing number, Texas. And it pulls up right here, right? So I'm going to go, okay, perfect. Yeah, my system automatically populates the routing number. Can you confirm this for me just to make sure my system is up to date? The routing number should be 111000025. Is that correct? Right? So I'm confirming, I'm giving them their routing number, which builds trust that this person knows what they're doing. They have everything sorted out. So I'm giving them the routing number and then I wait for confirmation that it's correct. Perfect. Okay. And the last thing that we need just to make sure that, the last thing that they need, perfect. Okay. And the last thing they need to make sure they can guarantee that, your daughter will get that check for $10,000 is your account number. What is that account number for you? And then they'll just give you the account number. If they give you objections, go through the objection overcomes, and that's it. and then you reinforce the decision, wrap it up, just let them know 3 things. So 3 things that you need to know before, or now, Diane, before we get wrapped up here, there's 3 things that you need to remember, okay? First, your policy is gonna arrive within 5 to 10 business days. If you were to pass away after the day you make your first payment, your daughter will get paid that full check. And your first payment is set to come out on whatever date. If it's today, then it's set to come out today, and then going forward, it'll be on the 3rd or whatever date you set it up for. What questions do you have for me? Wait for a reply and answer all questions. And ladies and gentlemen, that's literally the whole script, step by step, how to do it. I'm gonna leave this script linked below in the description for you guys. It's gonna be inside of our Facebook group. So if you guys join the Facebook group, this will be linked, pinned in the top of the Facebook group, this script for you guys. So join the Facebook group. It's going to be linked there for you. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.